He ran for the 5th Assembly. He's been a good friend of mine, a good supporter of everyone here in Sacramento. Shows up to everything and has done his best to represent you.
And that's his mom.
Come on up, Craig Deluz.
Craig, I knew you'd show up.
You know, I'll tell you, I work over in the state legislature, and I have to tell you, you know, their vote, the city council's vote to sanction the state of Arizona is not the problem. It's the symptom of the problem. Amen. See, there are two mindsets. There's one mindset that says that the government exists to serve the people. I think we would all agree with that. But then there's a mindset that says that the people exist to serve the government. It's the mindset that says that they get to choose who their voters are. It's a saying that they know better for you than you do. They know better how to educate your children. They know better about how to make decisions about your health care and your retirement. The question we have to ask ourselves is this: what are we willing to do? You know, the city of Sacramento, the city council of Sacramento, I want you to think about who's come from the city of Sacramento. Anybody here remember Phil Eisenberg? Left-wing liberal. How many of you here know Darrell Steinberg? Deborah Ortiz. Dave Jones. Every single one of these folks have come from the Sacramento City Council. They were enacting their policies, their anti-people, pro-big government policies, long before they were elected to higher office. A message needs to be sent. See, we always remember that part of the Declaration of Independence where it says that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But we always forget about the part that comes after that, where it says that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Who are the governed? We the people are the governed. And the time has come for us to stand up and say no more. But let me tell you, it's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen because we're here holding a rally. Let me tell you something. Politics is like war. And war is about taking ground. And we cannot be content to just gather. We have to do something. We have to get behind this effort. We have to be willing to put our time, our talent, and our treasury behind this effort. I'm tired of moral victories. I am tired of moral victories. I think it's time that right ruled over wrong. I think it's time that justice reigned over tyranny. But the only way that's going to happen is for us to get out of our comfort zone. See, many of us, a lot of folks are represented by good Republicans or good pro-liberty elected officials, people who believe in the rights of the people. But there are a lot of us here behind the Iron Curtain in the city of Sacramento, those of us who are behind enemy lines, who are not represented by our elected officials here at the City Council. We need your help. We need your help. It's time to stand up and get active and get engaged. It's time to get involved. It's time to vote. It's time to walk precincts and knock on doors for candidates like Paul Smith. You know, the establishment establishment wants to tell you, well, gosh, you know, there are some races that we just can't win.
Oh.
Pelosi!
There you go, Pelosi. Let me tell you this. Every movement, every revolution begins somewhere. Every revolution, every single revolution began at a time when people didn't think that it could happen. We have to stop thinking about just the next election cycle, but we need to be thinking 4, 6, 10 years in advance. We need to be knocking on doors and talking to people, getting them engaged, because let me tell you, a lot of people have given up on the state of California, but the interesting thing is this is the state that passed 3 strikes. It passed Proposition 187. It voted to protect marriage not once, but twice. This is a state that agrees with liberty. This is a state that agrees with the rights of the people. All we have to do is get them to vote for the candidates, and the only way that's going to happen is when we start getting engaged.
We the people! We the people! We the people! We the people! We the people!
Revolution is a hands-on thing. It's hands-on. Now here in America, we have the opportunity every election cycle to have a non-violent revolution. We have the opportunity to throw off the reins of tyranny and put in place those who value our rights as citizens of this great nation. This is our opportunity. This right to recall is our opportunity to express that. But it will not happen unless we're willing to get our hands dirty, unless we're willing to go and knock on the doors, make the phone calls, unless we're willing to walk the precincts and let people know that the reasons why they're dealing with the challenges they're dealing with here is because their interests, their values are not represented. The only way that is going to happen is if we get involved. Let me just ask you this. If not now, when? If not this, then what?
Yes!
And if not you, then who?
We the people!
We the people. The time has come for we the people to stand. There are candidates who are running in seats that the establishment will tell you, well, gosh, we don't want to put resources into them because, you know, we can't win in those races. Let me tell you, the idea is winning the hearts and minds of voters. We need to get behind the Rick Reddings who are running in Assembly District 9.
Yeah!
We need to get behind the Marcel Rylands who are running in Senate District 9 against Darrell Steinberg. You know, I live in the 5th Congressional District, and I've lived in the 5th Congressional District the entire time I have been here in the city of Sacramento. And you know what the sad part is? Whether it was Robert Matsui or whether it was Doris Matsui, do you know I have never in 16 years seen or met my congressman? Let me tell you something. I've met Paul Smith. I've met Paul Smith. He's shown up in my community. He's shown up to address the issues that are important to me. I'm going to get behind Paul Smith. I'm going to get behind those who are behind our values. You need to do the same. But let me tell you once again, it is not a passive thing. Let me tell you, I'll end with this.
There's only one problem.
I'll end with this.
The political animal is corrupted.
I'll end with this.
Republican or Democrat. Will he call for the general strike of the people?
In the end, what it is going to take is going to take an action of the people. Because in the end, no matter how much money is spent in politics, it comes down to votes. No matter how much the establishment says, it comes down to who we, the people, are willing to support. It does not, nothing else matters but this. If you are not getting behind these efforts, if you're not getting behind Sacramento, Recall Sacramento, if you're not getting behind Paul Smith or Rick Redding or Marcel Ryland, with your time, your talent, or your treasury, you are not a supporter, you're a cheerleader. And let me just be real with you, cheerleaders don't win football games. We want to win this one. We want to win this one, and to win it, we need to be in it. Thank you very much.